Well, it is all over at Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium in Gqeberha. But football is back. We just witnessed the first game of the Betway Premiership. In fact, there was a number of games that were being played, but today we are here to talk about Mamelodi Sundowns, the reigning champion of the Betway Premiership, up against Chippa United. The game ended in 1-1. Okusho ukuthi 1-1 and 1 point. This is my views, my expressions. Makuthi uyaqala ukujoin, please do subscribe, share dabakazi ukuthi we are here at sikuphathele okungaphathwa abaningi. Elami kama usiboniso sizo wakomnikazi sibonge, and as usual angami ngedwa ngiphethe umsayibos ufana nolwazi.
Good evening, Bafethu. This is my views, my expressions. I'm Sipo, and we are doing a review of Sundowns versus Chippa United, which was held at the Nelson Mandela Bay down in Gqeberha.
Where's the smile?
Why should I smile?
When football is back, we're all excited.
Okay, you've seen the smile.
Well, the game ends in 1-1 where everybody had high hopes. Namapanda, it's a straight wins. Mamelodi Sundowns 2.5. It wasn't like that.
Yeah, very, very, very good football game. I think Chippa United ikhombisa okukhulu ukuzimisela namhlanje, and on the other hand, we saw Sundowns being sluggish at some very important phases of the field, which as a result you see in Cram Rainers, very rare you don't see him even getting a shot on target, but today it was one of those days which goes to show how compact Chippa were at the back with ulomfana lo usiyabulela konqobe no Sean Love and Umdisa on the left and Khamis on the right. So it showed because they were very compact, and they didn't want anything to trouble Unwabali on their end.
I come to analyze namhlanje or to host la uthi, why am I so excited? Why am I smiling? Why ngafanele ngismile? The game is back and I'm excited about the game. Aren't you?
I'm excited. Football is back, yes.
Well, let's go straight into this one. Mamelodi Sundowns' starting lineup confused a lot of people, including yourself. I remember you asking, hey, what is going to happen when you have Basadin, you have Modiba, and you have Irazo, Lebusa, Lapana Emuva. So who's going to play who? We saw Basadin coming right at some point, but now take us through the game. Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah, we were surprised to see Basadin, Mdiba and Lebusa in the same lineup, and we made a lot of suggestions before the game started as to was going to be where. And when the game started, we saw Mdiba being a left back and Basadin being a right back. We saw a lot of alternation between the two, where you'll see Mdiba coming on the right as well, coming on the left. And then sometimes when Sundowns had the ball and they were controlling, you would see Basadin inverting from the right hand side, trying to add the space in the middle of the park to push Umkwena. As a result, you would see Allen and no Adams pushing very forward, which resulted in quite a few of the good runs that I think Adams was making there out on top of the D-line there, which one of them became a goal, and quite a few of them were happening around the box, and he was doing those forward passes. And Basadin, whenever Chippa wanted to counter Sundowns with the counter attacks, he would be better positioned to in an inverted like a 6. He was able to neutralize their balls. But in the first 10 minutes, we saw Chippa United being on top of Sundowns. They didn't want Sundowns to have the first touch. You would see every Sundowns player getting the ball. After 1 second, Chippa is on them. And Unwabali was also more forward. I think that was the instruction from Usne on the bench to say, let us try and press them. But after 10 minutes, we saw them going back and then trying to absorb with pressure with more reliance on Azola Matros and this guy Ubonani, who was their number 9 today. But I saw a lot of good balls coming out to Ujobe on the side, and I believe they deserved something in the first half with those long balls that were played from the back to Ujobe and Ujobe to Bonan, whom I believe had 2 great chances, which I would have found Ulo Williams helpless there, because his backline was all over the place and they were found wanting. So it was a matter of days, and then Sundowns was able to get the ball through Matthews and Sales, which was a typical Sundowns goal. And then we went to half time.
Well, we saw a very beautiful game from Matthews namhlanje. I remember saying ukuthi ay uma enza kanje with the absence of a Ribeiro should lo number 10 isemnikeza Matthews. And your reaction was not really excited about that statement that I made. But let us go to the 3 okhuluma ngayo up front kwi Chippa United. Usithole is Bonani and Fekane. Those guys.
Okay, I think there was into more especially on their left hand side. There was alternation. In the first half, we saw a lot of Ujobe going forward, and then in the second half, Ujobe went back, and then Umfekane was up front, and as a result, he did get a goal. So there was that thing, Abebe there on the left hand side, which allowed Umalibo Khomotiso not to worry himself so much with overlapper, because he had to deal with Ulo Lapolelo side. He has to deal with Sales, so he had to be there and make sure it's whenever Sales gets the ball, I'll told, and then Mabel told Ulo Umalibo. We made sure we did good job no Fekane, and they proved to be very lethal on the wings, I must say. And then in the second half, it was a totally different game. I thought Sundowns were trying to read the game, because it went 10 minutes, 55 minutes, 60 minutes. Like, we don't see who's Zagalan, because Sundowns now they have the ball, but it's not so lethal. And then what Usne did, he brought in Ukayebetso Ramotse no Filenda or and then on the side, and then Ramotse would play for Bonan in the midfield. Very, very quick forward from even the academy, and previously from Mamelodi Sundowns MTC team, previously coached by Usnetemba Patela, 2 seasons back. And so we saw that run, and then Filenda electric on the wing. Ever since he came on, Mutiba had a big
Mutiba was found wanting there.
Yeah, he had a big problem, and unfortunately he didn't have a lot of pick up there, and you saw that back heel that was played by Ufilenda, and then it resulted in a deflection goal from Umfekane, which I believe was also a very good goal. Nothing to do on Ronan Williams' side. You hardly get a goalkeeper who was able to save a deflected ball.
Yeah. So you speak about that deflection, and I remember it deflected from Umukwena, and many people says Umkwana did not have really a good game. One would have preferred to see maybe him being substituted, and maybe we see Opas coming in. But we did see Amasab coming from Mamelodi Sundowns. So you've mentioned some of them, which included Umapena, Udetlaku, when Uselis was taken out, and then on the other side, Matthews was taken out. We also saw Utemba Zwane coming in. So what do you make of those substitutions? And the 1A and the move, because I remember, as we were watching the game, you were not quite keen about what Lebusa was trying to do. But eventually, coach was saying, okay, Lebusa come out, let's put in Cupido. But the goal was considered after Cupido engenile. So now, tell me about the substitutions with Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah, sometimes from what I've observed from Ukbonipola, when you make substitutions, even 1 or 2 is very much. When you make a lot of substitutions at the back, you clearly shows maybe game plan work was not so good. Yeah, because as a coach, your first point of starting the game is the backline, and you have to be 100% sure that you qala ngobani, but we saw coach efaka umdunyelwa whom I believe had a good game, and ngigcine ngizibuza ukuthi hawu kanti lo muntu bengayiqali ngani game because ubonakala ngathi ufit. And then ucoach uyasho kwi-post match interview ukuthi ube ne discomfort at the beginning of during warm up, and so wamfaka, but I thought bekungaba right ukuthi umfake kwi-first half aqhubeke and then amkhiphe. And then you saw uKupito for Lebusa. Lebusa was very discomfort. These boys bebemgijimisa, and sometimes my pusher uthi uzoluza ibhola center. Obvious my lose ibhola center uyena umuntu oyisweeper lapha benokekana, so sebezorana ibhola thola ba expose at the back and be expose goalkeeper wabo. So I think those two substitutions brings a lot of questions on the coach's plan. That is the back line. And then you go to the substitutions, Kamshishi, Kamabena, Nega Kutlwan. Ukutlwan was on the right, Mabena was on the left. I did see good runs from those boys. And then Mshishi also. The coach comes on post-match interview, he says the Ulezolonyane ask Mpoma boy ask why if Mshishi late. Uzu coach ufuni control. Kanti why ungafuni control uqala game? So all those things, the coach needs to go back to report and try and ask himself questions and give himself answers.
Yeah, maybe let me correct you there. Umshisho ungedelinga ungeni goal. So igoli lingene sesephakathi field.
No, I don't mind ukuthi ungeneni, but Umshishi if he's fit, why not start him?
Okay. No, I was just correcting the point where uthi why do you want to control the game uma also usune pressure, you know? So that was my angle. But people says no Ribeiro, no party. Any response to that?
No, I can't talk about Ribeiro at this stage. Nothing.
You have nothing to say?
No, I have nothing to say.
There's still going to be a party, irrespective of whether Ribeiro is there or not.
Yeah, Sundowns is going to be Sundowns. Sundowns is going to be strong. Sundowns is going to compete.
First time after 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, we see Mamelodi Sundowns not getting 3 points in the first game of the league.
Yeah, let's see. It's only match day 1.
So, it's
only match day 1 out of 30.
Well, that's just about it. Let us go and see ukuthi Orlando Pirates enza njani laphayana nesikhukhune. Mamelodi Sundowns, the game ended in 1-1. It felt like a win for Chippa United. I could see the way they were excited, including the man himself, Chippa Mpengesi. And congratulations to them, you know, to get a point at home against Mamelodi Sundowns. Sundowns are the bullies. These people come from a Club World Cup. So it only makes sense for a team like Chippa United to be this excited when they manage to get a point in their first game of the league this season.
Yeah, I hope they forget this game as early as possible, because we've seen such behaviors from other teams where they get a good result against Sundowns and then they celebrate for over a week. They get another game, they lose, then it goes, the graph goes down. So it's coming from a good heart. I've seen this thing happening.
No, but why are you telling Tabati, Palishin Labo? Because we are still celebrating them. Why are you singing on for man?
No, they've got the 1 point, so they need to forget about this game as early as possible.
Well, congratulations to Amazulu. They got 3 points. Congratulations to Maruma Galias as well. They got 3 points away from home, defeating Richards Bay. This is my views, my expressions. Subscribe. Please do subscribe. Share we are here. From me, I'm going to Capella. What I'm saying, positive.
Asibonga office.
Nathi mnyama.
Asibonga office.
Nathi mnyama.